nice. I was born in poverty, and I could spend my entire life complaining that I was born in poverty. Or I could work harder and get out of it. And you have a slow metabolism, you're going to have to work harder than somebody with a fast metabolism. I'm sorry about that, but it's simply the truth. Don't try to tell me your body disobeys the laws of physics.
Well, as Chopper would say, you're a kapha. Deal with it.
Yeah. You know, there is life. There is death. In between birth and death, we have this time to try to make something of ourselves and try to make it a little easier for the people who come after us. And if you love your family and you love your friends, then be a shining example of possibility. That's what the world needs. It needs warriors. It needs healers. It needs teachers. It needs people who are willing to kill their egos every day to be the best that they can be. And if you're not willing to do that, don't get in my face and tell me you're a warrior.
Yeah. You know, I just flashed on so many people that I've seen come and go through the dojo, that when they finally do get pushed to that breaking point, whether it's in judo competition or it's a test, they are unable to face who they truly are, and it shatters them.
Well, it shatters their ego. It doesn't shatter them. The more they associate with their ego, the more they believe they've been broken. But in another student, it is an opportunity for them to get in touch with who and what they really are. This is why extreme testing is so important in any of the warrior arts. If you're going to put somebody out into combat, it's better for them to find out who they are in basic training than it is out on the battlefield. If you're going to send somebody out into the world thinking that they can defend themselves, better they find out in the school, where after somebody throws them, they're not going to land on them with both knees and pound their face into the ground and curb them, than it is out in the street where they think that they're badasses and find out when they're carrying their 3-year-old daughter that they're not. That's the wrong time to find out that you should have run.
Of all of the books that you've written, which one is the one that makes you the proudest? The one you look at on the shelf and say, that one, that's the one I like the most?
Lion's Blood. Lion's Blood. It's an alternate history that I wrote about an alternate vision of America that probably comes the closest to saying who it is that I am as a human being and as an artist.
Well, it's also the one that I've heard the most of from people who, have read your books. They go through, whether they're talking about, the Star Wars or whatever it might be, that's the one that they always seem to come back to.
I took some real chances in that book. I think that for the first time in my life, I was successful at conveying what I felt about racial politics in America over the course of my lifetime, and managed to put it in a form where it was not my intention to hurt anyone or to point any fingers at anyone. I wanted to say some things about the human condition as I have seen it, and I think that I was able to do it best in that particular book.
So we've already mentioned your blog and your website, but are there other ways people can contact you, or is it just through the website the best?
Well, the website is best. I'm going to be doing some seminar work with Scott Sonnen, who is a dear friend and one of the finest teachers I've had in my lifetime. And if you go to rmax.tv, you'll see some stuff about what we're going to be doing together in Portland, in Los Angeles, and then around the country over the next couple of years. What we're trying to do is to find a way to convey the core benefits in these extreme arts that have to do with personal transformation and put them into a form that anybody can approach if they're willing to apply discipline. I mean, there's no way, so you go to a weekend workshop and you choreograph a little epiphany for people. That's nice. As soon as they go right back onto their lives, their lives drag them back to the same state. But it's possible if you're willing to go back out into your life and engage in a physical practice that we can choreograph. There's a very specific set of movements that's designed to both provide basic fitness, not advanced fitness, not athleticism, but basic fitness in an hour a week. And if you will do this at the same time, some other things, you can play with your energy and the way you operate it in a way that's very similar to the transformative actions of something like yoga or qigong, and you can take that and put it into your life in some extremely useful ways. I mean, martial arts, are supposed to be for your whole life, not just whether or not you can kick butt. And I think that yoga and many other transformative disciplines, back to the ancient Greeks, and they talked about body, mind, and spirit, these things are supposed to work together. Too seldom do they actually work together. But even worse are people who try to change their lives just doing stuff with their heads, just chanting affirmations and so forth. That's all great, but unless you change your behaviors, unless you change your physical body, you're not going to get much reaction. So we've got some interesting stuff there, and for people who go to liferight.com or rmax.tv and like what it is that they see there and believe that the way I think about these things and the way Scott thinks about these things are congruent with the way they think, I'd love to play with you.
Steve, I have to tell you, we only scheduled a half an hour out of your busy schedule because you have got things to do. You have been gracious enough to be with us for 4 minutes and 41 seconds over that, so I appreciate that. Steve Barnes, author, screenwriter, martial artist, and as I said in the introduction, never boring. Thank you for being with us on Martial Secrets. It's been an absolute delight. We'd love to have you back sometime in the future, if that's
well.
Okay.
Just let me know, Kris. You take good care of yourself, and thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. If you have an idea for a guest or general comment, please contact me, Kris Wilder, through the WestSeattleKarate.com website. That's WestSeattleKarate.com. Look forward to your comments. And thank you to all of you who've contacted me with suggestions and comments. Your listenership is greatly appreciated. This has been Martial Secrets. Thank you so much.